this and I'll send it out. Very interested in your opinion on one subject today, and you may have seen it. Hello, G.
Hey, G.
So I understand why this is. It sounds disrespectful, but it's not. So the IDBF, they don't really have an option. They've kicked the can down the road, and I get why, obviously, to the 31st of July. So that's great, and nobody can make any assessment now, and that I appreciate all that, because that gives us across the whole squad a bit of a problem, because if they make a decision on the 31st of July, then there's probably insufficient time to really prepare for a November competition. And how do you keep people motivated before that? We've got no idea who's actually interested in going, so we don't know whether the competition will be viable, etc., etc. Travel restrictions, travel costs, and all the questions you should be, well, you would normally be asking me. How much will airfares be? Don't know. How much what will COVID restrictions be like? Don't know. What measures are they going to put in place? All these sort of things are legitimate questions that I can't answer, or none of us can answer. So I've got some ideas around it, but I'm really interested in hearing from you and what your attitude is. So how do we manage this situation? Where do we want to be on the 31st of July? And before I hand it over to you, those of you, there's a leadership book that was put out about 30 years ago now by Stephen Covey. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Efficient People. Some of you might have read it. It's a really good book, actually. And one of them says, one of the chapters is end with the beginning in mind. Sorry, begin with the end in mind. So in this case, you go to the World Championships, you say World Championships are on this date or this date, this month, and you work back and you decide what you're going to do in the intervening months, and you build a program around it. So now we don't actually know what the end is. And if anything, it's more remote. So what do you think? Tony, what do you think? What's your thoughts?
I just think we carry on as we're doing. I'm motivated to be ready for November, so I'll carry on training and doing monthly returns, train with the squad where I can, get out 01 in. Yeah, I think just carry on regardless. I
mean, there's going to be no BDA racing this year. There might be a National Cup, so I hear. So essentially, it's doing the paddling you'd normally be doing, plus the monthly returns you'd normally be doing, plus whatever events we can arrange between us. Okay, yeah, okay, all right. Lachlan, any thoughts? I appreciate you'll be in Hong Kong, so it's a bit easier.
Yeah, so exactly. So I'm a special case amongst this group in that I will be in Hong Kong. Well, I hope to be in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I'm also keeping very close track on the travel restrictions that the Hong Kong government has in place currently and is constantly revising. And you might be as well, Tim. I'm not sure if other people have been doing so.
Yeah.
They're selling it at the moment as we are making it easier to come back to Hong Kong, remembering that at the moment only people who are Hong Kong residents can enter Hong Kong. But they've also made it much easier they've also made it easier for the government to justify cancelling flights. So for example, here from Dubai, there are no flights between today and the 27th of April. No flights. They've all been cancelled.
Right.
So this makes it very difficult for anybody to fly to Hong Kong. It makes it hard to plan ahead. And that's just the reality. Right? Yeah. You may or may not like it, but it's the reality. And that sort of sword of Damocles, as it were, hangs over Dubai, it hangs over the UK, it hangs over anywhere where you can fly to Hong Kong from. So that is going to be an issue. And that's what the IDBF has to work around. And it's presumably part of the reason that they have deferred their decision. Yeah. Is they don't know how easy or difficult or possible or not it's going to be for teams to come to Hong Kong.
Yeah. I also gather in Hong Kong, obviously our inoculation, it's fantastic. Our vaccination stats are brilliant in the UK, but in Hong Kong, as I understand it, all the Europeans, all the Guilos, they're busy getting vaccinated. And so I hear from the locals, from the guilos, if you like, the locals are very reluctant. So the uptake in the local population, Hong Kong Chinese population, is very low. And the word is they're waiting to see what happens with the foreigners, the Europeans. But whatever.
I don't know the mix, but I do know that the total number of people who have been vaccinated is around 500,000.
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's about 1 in 16 people.
Right.
So it's not a very high number compared to the UK.
Right.
And it's rising, but it realistically, as I understand it currently, is not rising fast enough that it's likely that the population will be sufficiently immunized by, say, the summer, or maybe July 31st being a key date for us.
Yeah.
That the government will at that point have already been able to say definitively, okay, we have loads of vaccinations, let's relax everything. That's not to say they won't relax everything, but what I'm saying is, if you can't just project forward from the current trajectory of vaccinations and say it'll be fine in July or August, because it won't necessarily. So I'm not saying that everything's bad, but what I'm saying is that the IDBF is obviously beholden to what the Hong Kong government does, and the Hong Kong government is not playing the same game as all the other governments. So that's the challenge, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, Dave, what do you think?
It's going to be difficult. Personally, if I haven't got a goal at the end of this, something a little bit more concrete than what it is right now. Also, we're going to need 20 people in a boat to start getting blending put together and all this kind of thing, and that seems a long way off right now. We don't know what the British government's going to do about coming back and self-isolating and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I kind of agree with Tony. We'll move on the best we can. But personally, I'm not hopeful of anything happening this year.
I mean, we've got the point of this is not to make it doom and gloom, but just to be realistic. We've got we've got 46 people in the squad. And they're split pretty much, one in Germany, one in Singapore, about 20 odd in Hong Kong, 20 plus in Hong Kong, who are active, and about 10, 12 in Dubai, and about 10 or 12 in the UK. So yes, we've got sufficient numbers, but of course the problem is how we're going to, the idea would be we can train in isolation or in units and then bring people together, because that blending is an issue as well. So we're probably moving down the line.
Yeah, I also think, I don't know how much of an appetite there'll be amongst the global competing nations to fly. So it may be a good time to. It may be a good time to go.
Actually, yeah, but I mean, there's still obviously discussion about sort of traffic light systems, this, that, and the other, and you go out in Hong Kong, you take a risk. You go out Hong Kong is on amber and come back and it's on red, and it's another 1,700 quid. All this sort of stuff, which is going to play into people's concern. Quite rightly so. Quite rightly so. Okay, G. I'm going to talk about doom and gloom for another 5 minutes, then think about some possible solutions. But G.
Well, you mentioned solution. I am very solution focused. I know there's the challenges expected. But in terms of training, I know that I need plenty of time to train.
Yeah.
I'm not backing up because the fact that I can't compete this year is not the reason. I'm too old to cram, so I need to keep going and keep building my strength in all these techniques. So whatever is suitable, I'll go with it, no problem. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got no other things to do. I've got a job. I don't want it to be just a hobby. Basically, it's not all about that. So I'm in.
Okay. Mike, now you finish your beer. Unalcoholic. Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. I'm not wrong with having a beer. I'm not criticising.
No, of course not. as I said to you on the weekend, for me, I will just continue, as Tony said, I will just continue on training, exercising, trying to get better, because for me, all this is new anyway. So one thing that might happen, we don't know if it's going to happen, but let's say we might have an advantage that we are the senior team and we might get vaccinated in time, and vaccine passports might be in place that will enable us to do to travel. I know it's not guaranteed, but there is an option.
I mean, that should be. I think that should be clarified in the next few weeks, or certainly by the 17th of May. I think. But
Yeah.
in terms of that.
Yeah.
But I think whether
I've
you've been
received my.
vaccinated.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I've received my first shot today. Was all good.
Yeah. Okay. But carry on as normal at this point in time is your steer, yeah?
Yeah, and when it comes to numbers, I mean, that might be a different topic, but I've spoken to some in the Premier, and I don't know how it works because, as I said, it's all new for me. I don't know how the dynamics are. But as far as I know, most of the members in the Premiers are over 40. So
yes, I know. Well, not most. There's about 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. They said most of them, but anyway.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, that's another. I made that representation a year ago, and yeah, okay, fine, and fell upon deaf ears. But yeah, in the same, yeah, but yeah, yes, understood. Ian.
Yeah, I think I'm the same as most people. I'm more than prepared to carry on. It's not going to make me any worse of a paddler. It's not going to make me any less fit. So I'll crack on until somebody tells me not to crack on anymore.
Right. Okay. That's fine. And I know Candy is of the same mind, and so fine. Right. So that's the doom and gloom bit. So how do we achieve that? So are you happy with? I mean, it's really. Are you happy? Are you happy still doing the monthly returns? And they're not particularly onerous, but yeah. So we still got stats coming in of some description. And as things more open
challenges,
up.
but I'm looking at it. I mean, I've been separated from my senior teams because they go on Tuesday and I've been put on a Friday, which I'm pleading for Dave to move me to a Tuesday, but for unknown reason, it's like it's almost exclusive to them.
Oh, I see. Oh no. Okay, fine. So what's that?
So in terms of homework, well, yes. I'm carrying on with my own way to give you the homework that you want.
What's the issue with Liverpool then? When you say exclusive to who?
No, I'm joking. What happens is Tony, Ian, Scott are together in the same day training, and I've been put on a Friday, and I asked, can I move to Tuesday? Apparently we can only, is it 6? Is it really 6? Yeah. And then I even asked, well, can I have 2 sessions in a week? And they said no. So because obviously of the restriction.
Right.
So,
okay. Right. So rule of 6 in terms of O1 training, you mean?
Are you recording this? Oh, I have to say.
But why is there still the rule of 6? I thought we can go with 14 now.
In a dragon boat.
I don't know. I don't know. I always count because I want to do swap. I've been talking to somebody if I can swap, but obviously not with their work, so I can't swap.
I think that risk. I don't know. I haven't read it. I think the risk assessment applies to dragon boats. I don't think that applies to O1s, as far as, even though it should do if you think about it. But I think that's so with the O1s, we're sort of going in with the British canoeing idea. I think that's the way it goes with that.
Yeah, I think Dave said he was going to stick with 6 for a little bit longer. Don't know for how long, and only allowing, so not mixing between the groups. I think that's what he's.
Yeah, which is yeah. Are you in your dragon boat? How many are you putting in a dragon boat?
I'm not dragon.
So we are planning to go with 14 on Sunday.
Right. So is Amethyst out in dragon boats yet?
Yes, they have. They've been doing it in 2 boats, but I've not participated on that yet.
Right. Okay. Fine. So do you know what numbers?
I can't remember, but I left. Are you part of that Dragon Boat WhatsApp? No, I did. I left myself. I leave myself.
Just because there's several WhatsApp groups for the all one in, then there is for the Dragon boating,
Right.
then there is from the general chat. So
Okay.
you have to be invited into if you ask to go, so it keeps the numbers down.
Right.
So
Okay. Yeah. Because
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Raisbury's doing 14. I think Seclo's doing 12 or 14 or something. So okay, fine. Right. Okay. Right. So how do you think you can be best supported by people like me?
I think doing what you're doing now, to be honest. I think that's.
Just carry on, Tim, doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Weekly catch up's good. I think having the challenges is good. I think doing the exercise is good. Yeah, I think, as you say, you need to be very self-motivated because, as Dave said, not necessarily having a goal at the end of it. There has got to be a lot of self-motivation there, rather than aiming at something. But
what I'd like to do is introduce a one-to-one program. Now it's easy to do if I'm, say, working with Dave in Milton Keynes. It's easy, isn't it? But what I'm at the moment, you know, if you say begin with the end in mind, at the moment, the end, I want to say, hear me out on this, the end or the next decision point, rather, is the 31st of July. The 31st of July is either going ahead or it's not going ahead or whatever. But rather than wait till the 31st of July and then start training, then we need to start, I think we need to be in a position that come the 31st of July, we can springboard into something. And if it ends up, we end up with a competition crew that's part in Hong Kong, part in Dubai, part in UK. We'll just have to make the best of that. I've done that before. It's worked. But if we're working on the same song sheet, working to the same stroke pretty much, then we'll have to worry about that. And we'll have 3 or 4 months. And the problem will be we've got 3 different squads doing different things. They're all doing one-to-one work. They're all doing this, doing that. Now the problem is, how do we get this all together so it's cohesive? And it might just be the case of saying, right, well, the middle of the boat is going to be Hong Kong, the front of the boat is going to be UK, and the back of the boat is going to be Dubai. That might be one solution. But like I say, that's for down the line. So one-to-one program, a lot of value in one-to-one programs, wherever I've done these. Obviously, if I see you, I can video you myself, but how easy would it be for you to get video to me about what you're doing, how you're paddling?
I can do that. I just have a problem with the file size because they get quite big, and more an analog guy. How do you transfer large size?
Well, you need a compressor. You need an app like Handbrake or something, so you can compress it down. Then you can send it by WeTransfer. So that's
Okay.
probably the easiest way. I can send you details about that. It's a bit time intensive. You just got to takes about an hour to compress it, and then you just send it off. And WeTransfer is free up to a certain size. But I'm only talking about when we do the sessions, and I maybe stand on a buoy or something, and I do a fly past or a paddle past, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are training together, that might be just a case of at the end of your session, just one person jump out, get a phone, and just run a few 20-second videos, one on the left, one on the right, one toward the same sort of things we're doing. So then we can then start talking about specifics, and it will not be just a case of me saying, we'll do this, let's try this, give us some feedback. So we've got that situation moving on, yeah? Because what I'm quite keen to do is, between now and the 31st, with the limitations of all the rest of it, is try and give you the best value I can give you. So if we end up at the 31st and the whole thing, the bottom falls out of everything, at least you've had the opportunity to do some one-to-one coaching. We've got the best we can out of it, and you go away a marginally better paddler. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm thinking about that. So Mike, that's going to be, and we'll probably, if you're down south, then we can get together. But even then, if I come up with some dates. If I do this tomorrow, I've got been a bit rushed with doing stuff at the moment. Tomorrow, if I come up with some dates when I can travel either north or south, and then there will be specific dates, and then tell me what you are available. And like I say, all we need, I can bring the small boat up. It doesn't have to be at Liverpool. It can be. It could be at Scarmondon. It could be at Nottingham, and then say, right, let's do this on a Saturday afternoon. We do a couple of sessions, and then go from there. Yeah. At least we're moving the thing on. And so if I get to meet up with you, either individually or collectively, once a month at the league, well, probably that's realistic, I should think. And then we'll take it from there, because obviously you're doing your stuff with your clubs as well. Yeah, would that work, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I'm also, I don't know, I'm acquiring, I don't really want it, but I'm acquiring another 01. So what I tried last weekend was a package of one OC2 and one 01 on my roof rack. So another option is, if we can't get a dragon boat going right, is sufficient numbers, then I'm happy to bring the Land Rover with an OC2. So you've got room for me and 2 other paddlers. You see what I mean? So in your session, you get a chance to get out on the OC2, get out on the 01, and we'll go through some stuff and see how that works. And it might just mean if you had more than 3 people, then we have a couple of hours of this 2, a couple of hours of another 2. Yeah, those sort of things. All right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know Candy's up for that. I haven't heard from Nikki lately, but I know Nikki, Joe, and Kat are up for that as well down at Kingston. Another option, I haven't spoken to Richard Parrott yet, is rule of 6. We could get 6 people in an OC6. Now, those of you who haven't paddled OC6 before, it's a new skill, but the important thing is it's you in a crew boat. There's some slight differences, as Dave will tell you, slight differences to the way you paddle OC to the way you paddle dragon boat, but it's all very closely related paddling. The mechanics of it are pretty much the same, and it's you in a crew boat blending together. Yeah. So if I can arrange that, are you up for a bit of that?
I don't mind trying something new.
Because it's once again, it's paddling. Lachlan, you've done a bit of OC as well, haven't you? It's very, very closely related. It's exciting, different development. There's some different variations, but you're learning. Once again, you're preparing for a possible competition, but you're getting a one-to-one program, and you're getting the opportunity to learn a new skill. And I think as offering that, I'm just trying to do the best job I can do for you in the time I've got. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
No, that's fine. No, it's good, because I enjoy it. I love OC anyway. And actually, next year there's the OC World Championships.
I would just say, as someone who's done a very small amount of OC6,
yeah,
it is good fun. I mean, it's better in the ocean,
there you go.
but it's good fun. It keeps you fit, it keeps you in touch with paddling technique, and with training with other people.
Yeah.
So there's definitely value to it.
And
it's much easier to capsize than a dragon boat, but
depends.
harder than
Oh, that's the fun bit, isn't it?
Okay, let me just that's a bit a mild red herring.
okay, but no, it's a lot of fun. I would recommend it.
At the Great River Race a few years ago, I was steering. It was a light. They call it an unlimited. It's a 70-kilo boat. And on the Great River Race, if you've done it, you get called forward 2 minutes before, and then you float over the line at the right time. Yeah, so that's the way they stagger it. So for some reason, the crew in the boat decided to all stretch in one direction at the same time. Why they did that? I think Richard at the front did it, and everyone copied him, and we capsized the boat. So we capsized the boat 2 minutes before the start of the race, right? So we capsized the boat, and we managed to right the boat, bail it, get on the start line, and started the race on time, and did very well, actually. So it's easy to capsize, but it's also easy to get back. Yeah,
that's true.
Right. Well, in that case, if you're happy with that, I'll have a word with Richard Parrott. I know there's an OC6 at Raysbury, because I was paddling it yesterday. There's OC6s. What I'll do with Richard is I'm a member of PRCC anyway, so I can use the boat. I can steer the boat. I think Dave knows about that anyway. I don't know whether I can bring a boat up north, but the point is, and if you joined Paddle Sports, which is the organisation, it costs 60 quid a year, but there's no need to do that. What I'll do is I'll talk to Richard tomorrow and negotiate. If we run a training session, then he'll probably want a £5 or something. You know, it's not going to be, you know, to be a member of Paddle Sports, it costs you £5 a month. So the chances are he'll just say to me, just give us a voluntary contribution. But the point is, it won't be a huge, there'll be a small cost, but not a huge cost. Yeah. Okay. Right. And I might bring a V1 up as well. We'll have a bit of laugh with that. So Sylvie, so we're doing Dragon Boat, we're doing the one-to-one stuff, and we're doing OC, and we're moving you down the line. So come July, if there's no Dragon Boating, you might say, well, actually, let's carry on with the OC. Let's do something else. Or at the very least, you've got a new sport and some new skills. Brilliant. And
Yeah.
Sorry, just quickly, I think you won't be in Hong Kong by the 24th, will you, from what we just said?
No.
Oh, right, okay, fine.
By the time I'm out of quarantine, it'll be late May.
Right, oh, fine, okay. But say you're okay in Dubai for the next few weeks anyway, so fine.
I'm here for the next 2 weeks, and the guys will get me out on the boat again probably Saturday, and then once or twice next week as well. But I've done a couple of sessions with Heidi Mai's team as well, so I've been out 5 times last week.
Oh, great.
So,
yeah,
I mean, probably out 4 or 5 times again in the next 2 weeks.
They're all amazingly motivated because they're lots of actionations. They're out in the water, so it's easy, it's tangible, isn't it? So
a lot of people here are paddling 4 or 5 times a week, because twice a week with BNTS and twice a week with their own clubs.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are on the water. They're fit. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, good. Mike, I introduced you. Thanks, Latin.
Yeah, and we also have the weight training.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw my last message. It is still the same issue that, but Candy suggested something. So the thing is, at the first stage, when you open it, it's all fine. You can leave your comments and leave your weekly schedule, what you do apart from the weight training, that's all good. As soon as you open the Excel sheet, by default, you have 3 worksheets for the 3 different days, and they are pre-populated by the person who has filled them in before. Now, what we could do, each of us or everyone who is doing that program creates 3 extra pages and fills them in. But if we have 20 people who fill that in, we will have 20 times 3, 60 work pages on there, and it will be a huge file. I don't know if that's going to work.
I mean, the point of the system that should work is that it says labour unintensive, labour free as possible. Because once you, yeah. It should just, if we end up with more sheets, then we're back to square one, just filling in stuff and sending in. Okay, I'm not the one that got sent through to me worked for some reason, but okay.
But did you get several returns from different people?
Yes.
And they had all different. It was not that. Okay.
No, what it does, it creates a master sheet. So I don't get the sheets they fill in. What it does, it populates a master sheet of just, so you do your paddle return, for example, or your ergo or whatever, and it just gives a line after the closing date.
Okay. So yeah, I can fill in these worksheets, but as I said, they are pre-populated, and I don't want to delete anything from the person before. That's the thing.
Right. Is anybody else doing that system? Are you finding a problem with it, or is it working, or is it not working?
I had the same issue as Mike. I couldn't fill it in because when I do that, the grid is obviously taken, and I don't know where to place my returns.
Because it should, it should be a blank screen. Obviously, it's not a blank
Yeah,
screen.
it isn't blank.
Okay.
It's not blank.
Let me go
I've
on.
on-
Thinking. Well,
I've only filled in the one around the paddle return, and that was fine for me. I've not done the gym one, but the paddle one was fine.
Yeah, the paddle one is fine, but the gym one is the problem because it opens an own spreadsheet,
yeah.
and that is
I mean,
pre-populated.
the point is that the important part is if you're doing the gym return, keep a log of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if it comes to it, and you can just send it through to me, but it's not a. To my mind, the paddling and the ergo is the more important of the two anyway. To be honest with you, but fine. What we say to people is, if you've got your own gym program, then carry on doing that. Yeah. Okay. I'm talking to Vanessa Nest tomorrow anyway, so if that's still a problem, then we've got to sort it out. Simple as that. Because the whole point is to make it easier rather than harder.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I can just try and fill it in, but I don't want to delete anything from the person before. That's what's stopping me.
Right. Fill it in. See what happens.
Okay.
Okay. Tony.
Follow you, Mike.
Yeah, I was just checking. We're not supposed to be doing any other. We only have to do the paddle return and the ergo return because I'm doing lots of other stuff, but I've not recorded all of that. Is that still the same message?
Yeah, I mean, it's what rather than doing a weekly return, what I'd like people to do is during the course of the month, just return the paddle return, the ergo return if you can, and if you're doing, just log what you're doing in terms of strength and conditioning.
So you want us to log that for you to see?
I mean, they're doing just keep a note of what you're doing. I mean, the group I'm talking to here is less of a problem because you're doing it, and you probably don't need me to tell you what to do anyway.
No, that's it. I always keep a training diary anyway. Otherwise, you never know if you're improving or not. So, or what you did. So, I do that, but I've not shared that diary. It just it's taken age because it's really varied. So,
what I would say is on the return, there's a sheet that talks about other stuff you're doing.
Right.
And frankly, if you're doing the strength and condition and can't enter the details, I'll just say that you're doing Tom's program or you're doing this program or whatever you're doing, and then put it on there so you've got some sort of entry on it. But like I say, I know you people, and I'm not overly concerned about having to chase you to do anything, if you know what I mean. So that's it's less of a concern. I mean, some of the people I'm talking to, I've not actually met them. I may have met them on a Zoom call, and I'm trying to get people to do a return. Yeah, so that's situation normal though. Okay, fine. That's all I'm gonna say tonight. I mean, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but I want to be as optimistic as I can be and create as many options as I can do. And take it from there. If you ask me honestly, I'd have thought the chances of the world's going ahead are less than 50%. But yeah, that doesn't mean we can't. That doesn't mean we can't do something and get something moving and keep it sort of positive. Okay then. All right, I'll leave you in peace. And look after the Markham Channel. Right. Okay. Last point. Okay, Mike. Last points from you. Anything?
No, I'm looking forward to how is it called, OC6? Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. I mean, I will probably. The boat at the moment is at Raysbury, but like I say, I'll see what Richard's appetite is and what I need to do, but it will be accessible because he's keen on people doing it and trying different things. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's say if you have a dragon boat somewhere up in Milton Keynes, I come to Milton Keynes to paddle. I mean, just let me know when you do some sessions.
That's right, because I've got 3, not 1. But anyway, that's another story. Ian.
And I don't know. I mean, for me, one more thing. But I guess it's difficult to organize. I mean, that there is one day in the weekend where there's, let's say, club sessions, and one day of the other day of the weekends would be BNTS, but I think it's difficult to organize. let's say if the club sessions are on a Sunday, then the BNTS could be on a Saturday. But
Well, if I come up with some dates and then you tell me what the issues are, and then once we know what the issue is, we can work around the solution. But like I say, even if it just means that because you've got other commitments and understand that, then only 3 of you are available to do something, then I've got an option for 3 people. If we get 6 people together, we can do that. Yeah.
Yep.
And I say people like Raisbury, I mean, I'm not sure Raisbury what their attitude is to getting non-club members, but then that's for us to come up with some sort of version of, decontaminating the boat or whatever's going to keep them happy. That's, I'm not saying they want that, but we've done that before, so it's feasible we can do it again. Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant. Ian, thoughts?
Nothing really to add, really. I think, getting out in the O1s at the moment, which is really good. We'll be back paddling again. So, just going to keep at that, really.
William, okay. Lachlan, lucky lad in Dubai.
Well, I mean, obviously a bit of a transitional phase for me, and I have no idea what's going to be the situation in Hong Kong when I get there, whether there's, what kind of boat access there is, what kind of water access. Hope for the best, but who knows? Seems to be on off. What I would say is this last week, I've been out 5 times in the last 8 or 9 days, and I have absolutely loved it. You cannot appreciate how good it's been to be back in the boat. I've done like 1 session in the last year, and then every other day for a week, and it's just been a blast. It's been amazing. So I don't want to rub it in. I'm just saying that, like, I've really, really loved being back in the boat, and it's
Rubbing it in.
No, but it's been great, G. It's been really, really good because you haven't done it for so long. You don't know how it's gonna be, and I've been so happy. When you crash through a wave and it splashes in your face, and everyone's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Fantastic! I've missed that."
Yeah.
So that for me was the best thing in the last week. Getting back in the boat with a bunch of people, and just take whatever the water and the weather throws at you and enjoy it and love it. So I've still got the excitement and enthusiasm for it, and I've really enjoyed that. So fingers crossed we can get back on the water, in a couple of weeks in Hong Kong. But yeah, I mean, that's for me, that's just the most important thing right now. I've really loved being back in the boat.
Okay.
Can't stress that enough.
Wonderful. Yeah, a lot of people have forgotten what it's like, actually. Yeah, Dave, you've done a bit of paddling.
Yeah, mostly in the snow or the rain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not in the sunshine, but nothing for tonight. But I'm open to have an early morning session with you next week sometime, Tim.
Yeah, tell me when you're available.
I've got a doctor's appointment on Saturday, so I'll know more then.
Okay, mate, no worries. Thank you. Tony.
So Lachlan, was that the wave splashing in your face when we were in Scamandon Reservoir? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was
just the same.
Warmer here. That one I remembered I can do without. Yeah, you're right.
It's great. We've been managing to get out quite a bit, Ian and myself, and back with Amethyst. So it's been really good. Really enjoying it.
Okay, moving in the right direction. Brilliant.
I was going to say you say, well, we've got to the 31st of July, and we all still up for it and what have you. Ian and I started training with BNTS in 2018, and because of various things, we've still not had a chance to go to a championship. So yeah, we're dedicated. I think you'd call that.
I think dedicated. There's a fine line between dedication and craziness. Genius.
Desperate. You're desperate.
Thanks for that. Okay, and it is appreciated. I promise you, it is appreciated, because having a bunch of people who are motivated, and you can imagine there's probably a bit of a comet's tail of people who are just not, and you're thinking, oh, blimey, anyway, that's the way it is. G, last but not least.
I'm receptive with what you're recommending, so I am going to move the Tuesday group so I can then be joined with Ian, Tony, and Scott and do those video filming that you need for us to do.
I mean, that's a good argument for that, isn't it? Because I mean, we're trying to progress it. I know BNTS is not a BDA priority. I know that, and because I asked Dave, is that your priority this year? No, it's club paddling. I get that, But if there's a compelling reason that we need to get some stats off you for the one-to-one program, then that's a good time, a good reason to move you, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And I ordered some gadgets as well to help me, because obviously, yeah, I ordered a GoPro, but it's out of stock. I don't know why it is out of stock during COVID time. Yeah, because I'm curious to, I get feedback from coaches input, but I'm also curious to sort of like, learn from what I'm doing rather than being told. Because obviously there are different opinions about paddling technique.
Of
Depends
course,
on.
we do it. You probably gather we do it. We don't do it as a. I'm not into the do this, do this, do this, do this. I'm into the more have a discussion, explain why we want you to do it, try it, see if it works, and then it's more. There's a more, to my mind, a more intelligent way of doing it. But
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm happy that the gym is open. I've got access for ergo and things like that. So.
Well, I mean, if I can't imagine you get any resistance, but if you get some resistance, I need to make a representation to Dave, the club coach, then I'm happy to do that. But you just
really?
Of course I am, yeah.
No, I think the reason is because we're given a choice which day that we can do, but because it's already like 6 people in there,
Right.
it's not happening. And I'm trying to swap with somebody which is not giving the space to me because it's the day that he can do it. So that's fair enough,
Okay. All right. Well, if there's something I can assist with, then give us a ring. You know where I am anyway. Okay.
Thank
If you move to Tuesday, G, let us know, because then we can move to Friday then.
I will completely just show myself there. And I don't care what Dave's going to say. I'm just going to be like, get the boat out.
Turn up.
I mean, you've got enough boats there, so you could. I know there's 6, but you could actually do a 3 and a 4, couldn't you? Really? You could stagger it by 15 minutes. There's a solution. If you want there's a solution.
I'm known to not to follow the rules anyway. That's what Dave said to me. So
Okay, right. So that might be a bit of a 6. Might be a bit of give and take on that one then. But yeah. But if people want to paddle and they can paddle, then Dave's attitude is normally to facilitate people. But we'll see. I'll ask the question, and if I can assist you with that, then I'm more than happy to. Yeah.
He's supportive enough. Yeah, I can't complain.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. I'll leave you in peace. Thank you for your time. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Bye all.
Hey guys.
Everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye bye.